I don't further ensue chaos to anybody else, which is why I think I'm so cautious and adamant to know willingly how this energy is really being portrayed or I guess influenced, because again it's such a heavy topic, especially this next album, that if I'm not like too careful with it, I know it might send off the wrong energy, and I wouldn't like to do that, you know. Yeah.
So, by the way, you're talking about mood swings.
Yes.
Which is definitely very much tied to the conversation we're having now.
Very interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
Does making music help manage any of this?
It's a good question. I don't think it helps me release, if that's a good way to say it. I don't think in the long run it doesn't help it though. I think it feeds in more into this dark pattern that I have, because again it comes from the idea that for me to now use this as a reliant source of every time I go into these swings, it's almost like I'm abusing it. Because I know once I'm in here or once I'm down there. In the beginning, I only knew how to use this when I was high, but as I got older, I started channeling that when I was in my lows, and I think that's when it got dangerous, because I kind of started fucking around, and the stuff that came out from here though was so much more impactful. It was, you know, that's where So Beautiful came out of, and my song Nerves, and it was just so much more beautiful, evidently just because everyone was more gravitated towards that. And I think that's when I started getting a lot more curious about venturing off into that that manic side, and really just kind of juicing that out. And I think recently, during this second album, that's kind of when I feel like at a certain point I felt like I stepped over the line, because I started meddling with, I guess I know it's something dark, so it's dark energy, but I started really meddling with that, and it just really zapped the life force out of me.
Making music while in a manic state?
Yes, in a low manic state, but just completely abusing that. It's not just purely for this, you know, purely for music or purely for this story that I'm creating. And
but is it a story ripped from your reality, or is it
I would like to
imagination?
So. It's definitely a lot personal, but I've configured it in a way where it's relatively a fantasy. You know, it's a very interesting story. This time I'm not releasing a music video. I'm releasing a short film, so it's going to be very interesting.
Very cool.
Yeah, I can't wait for you guys to watch it.
By the way, Mood Swings is the album. It is out now.
Yes.
Link in the description below. Also, we'll be playing records from it right here on AMP.
Question. So Mood Swings in this order was the first one, and this the follow-up Mood Swings into order.
Yes.
Okay.
Little trick there, and you know, into. Yeah, I don't know what the third one's gonna be, so if you have any ideas.
Wait, so it's not called Mood Swings?
No, it is. But the first album was Mood Swings in this order. The second album is Mood Swings into order.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
It's like the acronyms for Mito. It's a very interesting name, I think. I kind of gravitated towards it. Yeah.
Is Mito you?
In a sense, absolutely. Yeah, because he's me in my manic state. I don't think he's me when I'm like on medication. It kind of dumbs it down.
Do you acknowledge that you are someone different when you are in a manic state?
Absolutely, because the reason being is it's kind of like this. It's kind of like I can't recollect the thought process or the thought train that I had when I was in that state, and it's almost scary to the point for me where I just can't imagine myself doing something like that. Hence the blackouts, and I think it's very interesting because my face. I don't know how weird this might sound, but again, like a lot, you know, your mental really plays key into also your physical state. So when I'm in that state, my eyes sink in and just physically everything goes in, and it's just kind of weird that always happens. Yeah.
Mito too. Can I call it Mito too?
Yeah, absolutely.
Were a lot of these songs recorded when you were on medication or in a manic state, or is it kind of both?
It's both.
Okay.
Both. I'd say like maybe just one was when I was just mellow. But actually most of them, if not 99%, I'd say I was going through it. Yeah.
How does the song start for you?
It starts, you mean in this album?
Well, I mean, in general, is there one way? Is it a lyric? Is it a piece of production?
For me, it's imagination first. So I think of a character. I think about how that character feels, how he looks like, what he's wearing, and then I put that character into a setting, whether it be driving down a highway just completely high off of something and he's fuming and his pedals aren't working, and you know it's night and it's like you have like comets coming down. So I draw this visual image of my head, and then I imagine what that might sound like in his head.
Different character every time? By the way, get a little bit closer to that mic.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Is it a different character for every song?
Yes. So just to give you a little backstory, this story that I'm creating is it's going to be pretty interesting. There's a god that creates this universe, and funny enough, this god is a clown. You know, it's playing homage. You know, might as well make something out of it. You know? What better god to have, right? And this clown starts, you know, fucking around, and he starts making all these characters and stories in a reflection of who he is. He gives each character a story to tell, and his first creation gets jealous of all the other creations. You know, it's a bit biblical, but he gets jealous, and the first story that he's ever made, or the first creation that got jealous, happens to be an angel, an archangel. And this archangel gets jealous, and the clown obviously sees the dark in it and decides to banish him. But what that further does is it changes him into like the demon king that he is now. It changes him because he goes through a phase of betrayal, love, and that love to fury. And you see the transition where he goes from this to the darkness that he is. Cuts into present time. This guy hasn't forgot. He swears to destroy every single one of this god's creation. He decides to infect, not destroy, infect every one of his stories, making him the main character of each story rather than the Ian that he set out to be. So he does so, and until one day the clown gets a brilliant idea to throw something, a little something into this story that confuses this Mito, and pretty much he's trying to find a successor as well. So that, you know, just long story short, that's kind of the basis of what the story is. That darkness being Mito, by the way, the first creation. Yeah.
This is beautifully intricate.
It is intricate. Thank you, but
and as much as it is a story that's, you know, from your imagination,
yes,
you could definitely hear the reality that exists.
Yes. Oh, that's nice then. That's good. I wanted to touch upon that too, for sure.
You got to listen to this body of work. It is very much out there. Is this going to be like a series?
It's going to be a series, a 2-part series. The first part, again, just the introduction to. I would say the first album, Mito, is more of showcasing Mito for the first time, not really exploring too much into depths. The second album now is talking about the origins, how he became to be, and present day story. Yeah.
What have you taken with you from your time with C Clown and as a trainee and applied to this solo
the clown
album?
aspect of it? You know, that goes without notice. But I think what ultimately C Clown, the experience, led me to do was, like I'm a very expressive person through a creative medium. C Clown allowed me, like, it humbled me to pent that up, if you know what I mean. Like the amount of times I felt like I was deprived of really being able to show what I want to show, because again, it's not your dance, it's not your song, and you're not doing, you have no control over anything you do. You're a product. So I think that amount of frustration led me to really, really valuing the moment when I do decide to get to do my own thing. And I think because again, you hit your lows, and once you come back, you're like, okay, oh my God, I'm gonna kill this. And I think that drive, I was just like crazy about it. And that's why I thank them for giving me that drive. I don't regret a single moment when I was there, And obviously a lot of the people that I met, other teams, that was definitely a bonus,
And I mean, you do have an audience that is continuing to grow and supporting you as you
that's
write
amazing.
your own stories.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. Like, I've never understood that concept. It's like, I'm not trying to be like humble or anything, but I really never, I guess I never thought to myself, like, especially with the word fame, because I don't think I was ever in it for something like that. I like the keyword audience. I want to grow out an audience to tell a story. An interesting thing, me and my friend was having a conversation. She asked me if I was an entertainer or a storyteller. And I had to really think long and hard about that, because I do love entertaining people. But then I feel like the only reason why I love entertaining, whether it be dancing, music, or film, is so I can tell my story. Ultimately, have a better way to
convey the message.
Yes, convey the message in a very tasteful way.
You can be both.
Oh yeah.
And by the way, I think the greatest entertainers are the best storytellers.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. That's a valid point. Yeah, you're right.
Like, think about it.
Yeah.
Like, the most original form of entertainment was a story.
Yeah, actually.
Even
right.
fables.
That's true. That is true. That's something to think about. Yeah.
What are you thinking?
The last question I had is, when you listen back to the music, can you tell the difference just by listening about what kind of mindset you were in?
Yes, but I, for example, won't be able to relate at all. Like, it's almost like its powers have been just stripped away when I listen to something. For example, a song like So Beautiful was like in one of my darkest times. That's why it's so eerie. When I listen to that now, I remember doing it, but it feels like I don't feel it. You know what I mean? It doesn't hit me in a way, because it was so. Because I think I've exhausted everything that I felt about that only in that period of time, which is why I'm a living nightmare for like business people, because it's like depending on how I feel, it's like this would come out. Yeah.
Wow, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
But you're your own boss.
Yeah, I guess so. I would like to think so. I don't like taking orders too much.
But you own your label, right? It's all you.
Yes. Me and this other friend. We were Scott, by the way. We were a collective. I think we all came up in this. Starting with a few founding members, we started just as, again, like a bunch of kids, just doing it for fun. And I mean, I brought together all the people that we're in, and everyone else. Well, Scott especially helped structure this whole brand the day it is. It's crazy. Yeah,
and it's continuing to grow.
I know, that's crazy. I guess it's such a. It's insane. Like, like we're here to just put on a show, and we would hope people would enjoy it, take whatever they want from it. But at the end of the day, it is putting on a show for everyone. I got to keep reminding myself, this is why I do the things that I love doing, and it is a nice friendly reminder when someone, like yourself would say that, because I don't get enough time outside of what I do, especially when because right now I'm editing as well, and it's driving me insane.
Yeah, you're just too busy making it. You have no idea what is going on around you.
Yes, that is correct. So, things like that. It's very nice to hear.
It's working.
Yeah. So thank you so much.
DPR Ian, listen to the music, please. It's called Moodswings. That's the album. Put in your ears. What?
Oh, you are just so fascinating.
Oh, really?
It's so interesting. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you
I'm so glad
much.
we did this.
Yeah,
Oh
you're
my
definitely easily like the coolest K-pop person we've had on, or ex-K-popper. I mean, because you're not an idol anymore.
Oh yeah.
You're an idol to me.
Oh yeah. Cool.
In your current form.
Thank you. That means a lot. Yeah.
Well, I think the definition of idol is going to change over time.
Oh yeah. Right.
I really do believe that. I know, like, you think I'm crazy.
No, I don't think
But
you're crazy at all. No.
I do think that there's going to be different versions. Like, I'm telling you, like,
Yeah.
America doesn't like perfect.
Right.
Like, our biggest stars are like, they look like me. Like, we're fat and we're ugly, and you know, we like have zits and shit.
You're not ugly.
Okay, sure. I'll take the charity compliment. No, but like they look normal. You know, they look like they'd be among us. They look like somebody you don't feel intimidated to talk to.
Yeah. That's, for me, that's very idealistic. I think I like that a lot more. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
So I want to see that definition change.
Actually, yeah. Definitely a lot more proud of that. Like, for me, like, I completely agree with you. I guess the genuinity, the realness of it, the rawness of it, that's what makes people relate more, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They actually look like a friend. You can approach them. You're not afraid to talk to them. You don't feel less than by being next to them.
That's correct. Yeah, that is correct. Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot.
I think it could happen.
Yeah. I believe you, though.
Let's see.
I believe you. It's what people want. I think deep down.
I'm a fan of K-pop.
Yeah.
The Wonder Girls are the first girl group to ever, first K-pop group to ever come on our show.
Wow.
Yeah, that was in 2009.
Wow, that is a while ago. Wow.
Yeah, 2009, 2010.
Wow. My goodness.
I've been doing this for 15 years.
Do you, I mean, I'm sure you do, but like, does it ever get like too flustering for you too? Like, is this more?
Oh no.
If you get, so at a point.
You're in my fucking territory, motherfucker.
Right.
You're coming into my zone. I'm in charge here.
Interesting. When you got into this position though, did you immediately kind of felt like you owned it, or did it take a lot of time for you to just meld into this?
Great question. There's two sides. So one side of what I do every day is like an audio diary with my friends. Like, I get a chance to talk every day about my life and talk about news and stories and all this shit that's going on.
Right.
That came natural because the reason I started a radio show to begin with was because I had no friends. I transitioned from a tiny Catholic school to a large public school. So like a tiny private school, 80 kids were in the whole school.
Yeah.
To a school that had 2,800 kids.
2,800, wow.
And I had no friends. Nobody knew me.
My God.
And I would go for months, bro, on end where nobody would talk to me in the school hallways. Like, the teachers barely acknowledged me.
That's crazy.
So I had so much, like, almost like what you were saying in terms of you were deprived creatively. So when it was time for you to go, you had so much to say.
Yeah.
The second, like, I thought somebody was on the other side of the speaker listening to me was the second I just became the most free. So
interesting.
This thing became my best friend.
Right.
The microphone as like a symbol, but really it was the people on the other side of the speaker. So what came really natural was sharing every aspect to my existence.
Wow.
I mean, to the point, like, when I get good news, like my sister had a baby a year ago and I found out 3 minutes later, I was on the radio telling everybody.
Wow.
Like, this is my friend.
Right.
So that came natural. So there wasn't much of a learning curve.
Right. Oh, wow.
But interviewing, I mean, I don't know, maybe, I'm sure there was a learning curve, and I'm sure there's been, like, if you go back because I've been interviewing people for 15 years, so like, and it started over the phone, and they were always longer than the usual. So I definitely was not nearly as comfortable as I am today. Like, even a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
Natural at it. Ultimately. Oh, wow.
Well, definitely. I care. Like, I care about people. I'm innately curious. I also, like, understand that there's a root to everything. Like, nothing just is.
Yeah, I think I realized that about, I mean, I've watched a few of your interviews.
Oh, thanks.
You have a very sensitiveness to understand, and therefore I think it really, you have this aura where you give the person that's being interviewed enough comfortability to, like, really just open up. I think that's gifted, because that's like, you don't really see too much of that, even if people are, interviewers or whatnot. It's that sensitiveness, and I think that detail, I think, is very impressive.
It goes a long way.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
I think it is like it's funny, between therapy and I've been doing, I'm not bragging, but like the New York Times in America is huge, and they asked to profile me for their Sunday edition. So I've been I'll spend 5 hours with the guy writing a story, but like I'll spend 5 hours with him at one time and then spend another 10 hours with him in 2 different sessions.
Right.
So I sit down and these conversations are the conversations we're having.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it's empathy. I think,
okay.
I also, it's like it's a deep understanding of like, I don't know, man, like, you grew up like kind of poor,
right,
with a single mom whose job it was to be a social worker in like the poorest city in New Jersey.
Right.
She gave up 37 years of her life to like take people off the streets and give them homes.
Wow.
Veterans, single moms, drug addicts, older people who were neglected by the system.
Right.
My mom dedicated
a lot of that to that.
37 years.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, making no fucking money, carrying everybody's story and their issues as it was her own.
Okay, yeah.
So I think that definitely plays into it.
Right.
And then also like, I don't know. I grew up very diverse.
Interesting. And so that's probably, would you say because of that made you like a very empathetic person?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, that, and that did. Also, my dad was a raging alcoholic forever.
Oh gosh.
My sister, is bipolar.
Oh, okay.
There's 1,000 different things. My extended family is from Honduras, so I watched like first generation Americans grow up around me.
Oh man.
No, I have a crazy life.
Wow. Yeah. It's definitely, it's very interesting.
I wouldn't recommend being close, like lower middle class, poor to anybody, but like it is what you make of it.
Right,
and I was innately curious, and all I wanted to do was make friends, even though nobody really wanted to make friends with me.
Right.
So it all kind of
I think it worked out then, really, didn't it? Like,
it
was like you were bubbling that up too, and then it just,
totally.
like, when you found the outlet, it was just like this. You just kind of, all these things that you're penting up, it just like exploded.
Somebody was there to listen, even though if nobody fucking was, because I knew eventually somebody would be.
Yeah. I think it's beautiful.
I had no idea that at a certain point there'd be 1.5 million people listening every night.
Wow.
I had no fucking clue. Couldn't have bet that one.
No,
but yeah.
That's crazy, man. That's I think that's amazing. It's such a beautiful story.
Well, I'll send you the New York Times.
Oh yeah.
I'm fucking around. I appreciate you even bringing it up. That means a lot because people.
Always.
We're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you.
Oh yeah.
The conversations do go 2 ways.
Yeah. I was genuinely like, I wanted to point that out too. I really want to say that to you because, again, for me it's very important because a lot of people like talking and even like, but not many people listen. I think and again, it's a very hard thing too, like putting oneself down and really listening, really engaging.
But that's like what I love.
Yeah, see, that's amazing. that's so natural to you, and I think that too is a gift. Honestly, I know it's like you can just tell people to do that, but I always realized there was not too many people that are listening, like actually really listening.
There's a difference between like surface level listening and you're there.
Yeah.
But like I haven't looked away from you. Like maybe I looked away from you like once.
Yeah.
Like I listen.
Definitely. I can feel that from you guys.
But you're also super fascinating.
Oh yeah.
And that's coming from somebody who doesn't always listen.
Oh, that's me. There's sometimes, I'll be honest, in interviews where my mind's drifting in 1,000 places. The next thing I know, I'm like, well, I have no idea what was just talked about.
Oh,
and I just hope that I don't re-ask a question that was already asked. Oh. But you just, like, your story just locks people in.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Wow. Oh, wow. That's
I'm telling you, effortlessly cool and effortlessly beautiful.
Thank you. Oh my God, that means a lot. That means a lot to me. Yeah. For sure.
Y'all should listen to Moodswings. Do it. DPR Ian. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Christian Yu.
Yes.
Still a cool name.
Still a cool name. I'll definitely go back to that then.
No. Keep doing what you're doing because it's definitely fucking working.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks for spending your album release with us. I really couldn't appreciate it more, man.
No, absolutely. It's an honor. I think this was the perfect place to do that. Yeah.
Well, our door's always open. Our studio's always here, and hopefully this is the first of many.
Oh, of course. I can't wait. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
No, thank you.
DPR Ian, everybody.
Woo!
more shots so casually. One more down and I'm meant to be. Have I gone too far with this? Can you see me in the